What is use with limited movement? This is when use is impacted by a person's strength, dexterity, reach, or range of motion. This might be someone using their device while carrying shopping bags, someone wearing gloves that stop them from interacting with their phone, or someone who pulled a muscle at the gym and is having trouble using their arms. But in the context of disability, this impairment to a person's strength, dexterity, reach, or range is sustained. Common causes from birth or development include being born with limb malformation, cerebral palsy, spina bifida, or leukodystrophies, while acquired conditions can include injury causing full or partial paralysis, amputation, stroke, neurological disease, or musculoskeletal disease. Let's look at some of the user characteristics of people with limited movement in more detail. Limited strength. This is a limitation to the amount of force that can be applied by a person. This might, for example, be someone who has limits on what they can lift, push, or pull. This might affect their ability to move a mouse around, push buttons, or hold their head up to view a screen. Limited reach or range. This covers limitations to the range of movements that can be performed with gross motor control, such as limbs. This might be someone with paralysis who might not be able to use their arms to control a computer, or someone in a wheelchair who cannot reach the controls on an information kiosk. Finally, we have limited dexterity, which means limitations to the range of movements that can be performed with fine motor control, such as fingers. This might be someone with arthritis, for example, who could have trouble typing or using a mouse. Here are some of the common technologies users with limited movement might use. As a person with limited movement, I may use a keyboard. For people with limited mobility, a keyboard may be easier to control than a mouse as a means of input. A keyboard provides precise navigation and often contains shortcuts for navigating efficiently, reducing the amount of movement needed to navigate around. As a person with limited movement, I may use a head wand. A head wand allows a person to control a cursor with their head rather than their hands like a mouse or keyboard requires. This is useful for people who experience partial or full paralysis or lack of controlled movement in their upper body. Head wands can come in different forms such as physical sticks or laser dots and can be mounted to the head, held in the mouth, or adhered to the user's forehead. As a person with limited movement, I may use an on-screen keyboard. On-screen keyboards can be used to type, navigate, and execute commands instead of a physical keyboard. A head wand might be paired with an on-screen keyboard to allow a user to type or navigate. As a person with limited movement, I may use speech recognition. Speech recognition is another tool commonly used in conjunction with an on-screen keyboard. A person can navigate or type by speaking commands and dictating input. When it is supported, speech recognition can be faster than other methods of input, like selecting letters on an on-screen keyboard with a head wand. As a person with limited movement, I may use an ergonomic mouse. This is a mouse designed to reduce the strain on a user's wrist and may have features such as an increased size, upright position, or a larger scrolling wheel. It functions the same way a regular mouse does and is commonly used by people with conditions such as arthritis or RSI. As a person with limited movement, I may use a switch device. This is an input mechanism, usually controlled by one simple gesture, such as pressing a button, blinking the eyes, tapping a pedal, or puffing on a mouthpiece. It can be used by people with extremely reduced movement and allows a person to navigate and input commands as a primary control. You may be familiar with one famous user of a switch device, Stephen Hawking, who uses one to allow him to speak. In order for these assistive technologies to be their most useful, there are some key ways to improve the experience of people with limited movement. As a person with limited movement, I may need efficient navigation. You can assist by ensuring related information and controls are grouped together to reduce movement required to navigate, by providing skip links for repeated content blocks, and by providing alternative navigation options, as well as ensuring order of controls is always meaningful and efficient. As a person with limited movement, I may need enough time to complete tasks. Imagine filling in a form by selecting one letter at a time with a switch device, which must cycle through the alphabet to find each letter. This might take longer than your average keyboard or mouse user to do, so time limits could prevent that person from filling in a form. You can assist by avoiding time-limited content where possible and including the option to extend or pause timers. As a person with limited movement, I may need to enlarge content. People with limited dexterity may need to resize components in order to use them. Someone using a mouse with a tremor, for example, may need to make links and buttons bigger in order to click on them. You can assist by designing with adequate touch target size, allowing people to zoom in using their web browser, and allowing people to pinch and zoom on devices. Remember to check that all content can be made visible and functional when zoomed. With these common user needs in mind, you can improve digital access for people with limited movement. Intopia.